Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Yo soy Pablo de la Gema, estamos en el canal de la Gema para Gema Fantasy, el podcast de la Gema. ¿Cómo está? Yo muy bien. Martes lloviendo en la Ciudad de México, tuve que caminar una travesía a través de la lluvia para conseguir un poco de agua para poder estar al tiro para este podcast que tenemos para ustedes el día de hoy, lo cual me recuerda to all the English viewers that are not understanding what I'm saying right now. It's the intro in Spanish. Just wait a bit moment. Circle Master will be here in a few moments. Ya voy a hacer en inglés porque hoy tenemos un invitado en inglés, Circle Master. Tal vez no muchos lo conozcan, yo tampoco lo conocía hasta recientemente, cuando destacó notoriamente porque obtuvo una gran hazaña en Final Fantasy VII. En Final Fantasy VII, un RPG que un récord mundial, un speedrun o algo así. No tal cual. El chico obtuvo nivel 99. Wow, eso cualquiera, ¿no? Yo en mi save file, ¿no? De Mother. Pero no. Este nivel 99 es muy particular. Porque obtuvo nivel 99 en Final Fantasy VII con Cloud y Barret en el primer reactor. O sea, en el primer minuto del juego, antes del primer jefe. Una hazaña muy difícil de hacer, pero la hizo. Y vaya, el vato ahorita ya levantó un verguero por esto, entonces pues vamos a dar su respect, ¿no? Voy a hablar con él, vamos a platicar un poco de Final Fantasy VII, un poco de cómo lo hizo y qué va más después de todo esto. Ya a empezar esto, así que hobbies, por favor, díganle a sus compas que esto está a punto de comenzar, compártanlo. Estamos próximos a darle la gemas a crema, ya se la saben. Igual por ahí hay botones nuevos, si quieren checarlos, si tienen la pasta, si no un follow siempre apoya. En fin, ya saben lo de siempre, si nos pueden apoyar se aprecia para poder tener más contenido. Ya tenemos ahí por el video de Pokémon de ayer y ahora con Final Fantasy hoy. Le voy a marcar a Circle Master ahora para empezar. Sobre su banda. Circle Master, my man, how are you?
I'm doing well enough. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for being here, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.
Okay, so I was telling all of the Spanish-speaking audience in the stream about your amazing feat, the fact that you reached level 99 in such a circumstance before the first reactor, right? So before we get into that, Oldir, I would like for you to introduce yourself to the stream, if you could, please.
Hi, I'm Circle Master. I make videos about video games as a hobby. I've got a YouTube channel with a ton of Let's Plays. I've been doing the Final Fantasy VII thing sort of on the side. That's sort of taken off, so I started streaming now on Twitch.
Okay. How long have you been streaming for?
About a month.
Okay.
Very...
Just starting out.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with any of the memes that are getting posted in my chats or anything like that, so I have to apologize to my viewers basically every day.
Wow, that's pretty interesting. A whole new world for you then. Okay.
One could say that, yeah.
All right. Okay, so well, you first started streaming, but you've been gaming for a while, and I know you like Final Fantasy VII, and I know you did an amazing thing. I would like for you to share with us what is in your words. Of course, it is what we're talking about, level 99 with both Cloud and Barret before the first reactor in FF7. But why? And could you tell me a bit about how did it come about?
Well, the long version is in 2012, a forums user on a private forum, so I can't really name it, who went by Dicktree, stated that he would do this challenge. He would get to level 99 in the first reactor, and he progressed with this for a while. He got a lot of support, a lot of fans in the forum. I was one of them who was cheering him on. As time went on, his updates became less and less frequent. Around level 48 or so, he stopped posting altogether. And this was in 2014, so he'd been at it about 2 years. He stopped posting altogether, except to just troll his supporters. He would, it was very shameful, I thought, that everybody had come out to cheer him on, share in his achievement basically, and he gave up and didn't even have the the cojones to admit that he was done, and instead just descended into mockery. So I stepped up. I said, screw it, I can finish this, or I can do this whole thing before he even finishes. And this was in 2015 now.
Okay.
So it had been a year since he'd updated. And I was like, I can do this. And when I first set out, I figured, okay, me starting this will shame him into finishing it. So he's going to finish. And I would just be encouraging him to finish, and we'd all, share in the victory, and it'll be amazing.
Okay.
He never came back. He started trolling other threads instead, other parts of the forum. So I just kept at it, because I had started, I said I would do it, and if I had stopped, I'd be no better than him.
For sure.
So I had to finish out of just pure spite, partially. But also just because so many of us had been left abandoned by him, we had to see it through.
Okay. And you saw it through, right? Like, you did it.
Yeah, in a little over 2 years, which is about as long as he took to give up, is at, in the 40s in level is when I finished.
Okay. Wow, man. Okay, so I just want to take a brief moment here now that you've told the story and the people now know it from your word. Man, respect where respect is due. I really look up to what you did. I think not a lot of people will do it. I don't know if anybody else has done it before. I think maybe you're the first, but it's an amazing feat, and props for doing it, man. I think you're a legend.
I appreciate that. I will say there are videos of people who have done it before. They've probably used emulators. I don't know how legit those are. I don't have any reason to doubt it. I may be the first person to do it on a physical console. I did it on a slim PS2 with a physical disc and a standard DualShock 2 controller. So there was no turbo, no auto fire, nothing like that.
100% legit, true AF. Okay, for sure. Alright, so this all started because someone wanted to do it, but he didn't come through, and then you stepped up to the plate and you did it. And it was over 2 years, is that correct?
2 years and 3 months, I believe.
Okay. So you managed to achieve a lot of things. I know you got a lot of guild, I know you got a lot of AP, certainly a lot of experience, but tell me about the total amount of time it took you to do this, like in-game time, or like measure up, playing, grinding, all of that.
Well, the in-game timer stops at 100 hours, basically.
Yeah, 99.59.
I've had to estimate roughly about 525 hours of playtime.
Okay, so we're talking about
spread out
20 days, right? Approx?
Yeah, approximately.
Yeah. Okay.
Spread out across 2 years and change. Actually doesn't come up to that much time per day. I believe somebody did the math in the comments on my video. It's about 30 to 40 minutes a day, and you can do this in that same amount of time.
Okay, but you didn't do it like day to day. Like you did it, oh, maybe 1 week I'm gonna do like a certain amount, then I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll keep doing it later on. You did it like that, right?
Yeah, it was before I started streaming it. It was very sporadic, where I would do hours a day, and then I wouldn't touch it for a week, and then I'd go back to it, back and forth like that. When I started streaming, I just had surgery on my left shoulder, and one of the things the doctor required was that I take my arm out of this massive sling that it's in right now to stretch out the joints. So I figured, okay, I'll have my arm out of the sling, and I can do grinding while I'm doing that. Just sort of incentivize myself to do the exercises. And I did the stream because I had gotten a capture card as a gift, and a couple people in the forum wanted to see it on a stream, so I started streaming. I had like 5 viewers, who cares? But I made a goal for myself to do 5,000 experience points every stream, which is a little under an hour. And since I had to stretch my arm twice a day, I ended up streaming twice a day. So once I started streaming, it actually became much more regular, much quicker progress.
Okay. Now, talking about going into doing it, would you say you're a big Final Fantasy fan? Would you say like you really wanted to do this out of just being Final Fantasy 7, or because it was like a thing outside of the game, like the whole Dick Tree thing and whatnot?
Well, this challenge was outside of the game. It was the Dick Tree thing.
Okay.
I am a big fan of the Final Fantasy series. I've played them my whole life. I started with 1 on the regular Nintendo. 6 is probably my favorite on the Super Nintendo. Full disclosure, I've never beaten 7.
Oh, wow.
I played 7 several years after it came out. It was well past the hype of when it first came out for the PS1. And honestly, at that point, I was comparing it a lot to 6, which, as I said, was my favorite. I didn't really care for the story the same way that I enjoyed 6's story. So I didn't even finish Disc 1.
Damn.
And I kind of set it aside and didn't really think about it. I tried the other Final Fantasies as they came out, and none of them really gave me the sense of nostalgia that the old Super Nintendo and regular Nintendo ones did. And then the Dick Tree thing happened. I'm like, I can do this. So that was when I finally picked up Final Fantasy VII again. And I still haven't left the first reactor.
Damn, son. Well, you're gonna be quite prepared when you finally beat that Scorpion robot. Okay. So now I would like to get technical a bit on the methodology to doing it, like the actual feat. In your streams when you were grinding to get to level 99, I saw you were doing it in a specific part of the area of the whole reactor. So I just want to know, like, for example, you mentioned doing 500 XP per day, which is about an hour. What were some of your plans going into doing the feat itself?
I didn't really go into it with a plan. Fairly soon, I realized that on the specific catwalk that I'm on for the entirety of the stream, you get a different group of enemies than you do down by the save point, which is where I initially started.
Okay.
And you just get more experience from those groups on that screen I was on. You get generally larger groups, and it's more XP per enemy. So you get an average. I think the average is around 80 XP, whereas on the other screen it's about 60. So
Okay.
it's 33% better, which means if I wasn't doing it on that screen, I would lose. I think the way the math works out, it'd be 25% longer for me to do it. So I would still be at it if I was on the wrong screen.
Oh wow, so it made a difference.
Yeah, it's a really minute difference per battle, but we're talking about tens of thousands of battles, so it really adds up.
Okay, so you discovered that along the way. You first went in going before the boss, right? The whole corridor in the save point before the boss?
Yeah, just that platform right next to the save point. I basically run back and forth.
Okay, alright. So, but still, there's still an RNG factor in that because you get different groups of enemies. So, you get like a pool of possibilities in how much XP you will get per battle, right?
Right, and even within the pools, the highest XP value on the good screen is more than the highest XP value on the bad screen.
Okay.
As well as the lows. The lowest XP you can get on the good screen is higher than the lowest XP you can get on the bad screen. So across the whole spectrum of variance, it is always better to be on the screen that I'm on in the stream, the catwalk above the save point.
Okay. Regarding characters and their customization, I guess you didn't touch that. There's not a lot of weapons that the characters have at that point. Materia neither, just attack.
You never get an equipment option.
Yeah.
You never pick up any new equipment. You just have their starting equipment. You pick up a materia at some point leading up to it, but you don't actually have access to a materia menu. So I couldn't equip it on anybody. I couldn't change anything around with it. I just had the 2 that Cloud starts the game equipped with, and that's your only option. All Barrett can do is fight.
Okay.
And Cloud can either fight or cast his magic, and magic just takes longer.
Yeah.
So you're better off fighting.
Yeah, okay. Besides that, I guess tech speed, battle speed, fasting options, and stuff like that too helps?
The tech speed I don't think even matters, because once you're in the reactor, there's no more story text. There's nothing to come up.
Okay.
But yeah, the battle speed, fastest, obviously. I don't even think I ever had it on anything but the fastest.
Alright, for sure.
So I couldn't tell you what the difference is for that.
Okay, don't worry about it. Now, well, everything's laid out. You know where to go. It's just a matter of walking that corridor, pressing circle a couple of times, attack and kill and get some XP. But tell me about how did it go? Was there a particular moment where it started to get like a bit more tiresome? Like, tell me about the difficulties in getting this.
The thing about a grind this long is that there's no peaks and no valleys. It is continuous. If you can handle the monotony, then you can do something like this. Most people can't. Most people would be bored out of their minds within 20 minutes, probably.
Okay.
It's just a matter of almost tuning out what you're doing.
Okay.
Most of the time when I was doing this, I was actually doing other things at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was barely paying attention to the screen. I would like register when the screen turned blue after battle so I could go back to using the D-pad. But there were several times where I wasn't paying enough attention and I was still rocking the D-pad in battle, and I would end up attacking my own party. And several times I ended up killing somebody.
Okay.
I believe you either start with or you pick up along the way 2 Phoenix Downs. I ended up using both of those to revive dead characters. Cloud ended up being way behind in experience from Barrett because he spent several hours dead, and I didn't realize it.
Wow.
And I think twice I had killed somebody after I ran out of Phoenix Downs and I had to reset, and I lost a couple hours of grinding.
Okay.
So that's why I'm putting my estimate at 525 hours. If you're doing this peak efficiency, as I'm doing it in the stream, 5,000 experience per hour, it's about 490 hours.
Okay.
So that the errors, the inefficiency, I'm rounding that up to about 525.
Okay, but still, there's compared to the actual time of the grind, you got short leisure time in the grand scheme. All right. Sorry, what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
No. Okay. I wanna go on. All right. So plenty of hardships. Now the technical thing is, yeah, 2 Phoenix Downs. Maybe they could die. You have to reset. But motivation. You said not many people would do this because it's very monotone. But what about you? Like, did you get a moment where you felt like, oh man, now I'm getting pretty bored of this. Maybe you should just drop it, or were you motivated all of the way and you didn't have to worry about the psychological aspect of it?
I never really had to worry about the psychology, not just because I think my brain is just wired that I can handle this kind of monotony, but basically everybody from the forum who had been burned by Dicktree came out to support me. So I had a ton of support every day that I was doing this. So without that kind of emotional support, I'm not sure that I would have been in that same rhythm. It especially would have been hard during the stream when I got no viewers during each stream, but I still got the positive feedback on the forum. And I think that's what kept me going and kept me streaming. So okay. I think actually at the end, if I didn't have that community support, I might have thrown in the towel actually fairly late, which would have been a real shame.
Okay. So then you would have to thank everyone that cheered along the way. It helped.
Oh, yeah. I think it's about 100 people, and all props to them. We've been celebrating in the forum for a couple weeks now, ever since I did it, basically.
Damn, that sounds good.
They have been finding all kinds of articles about me from all over the internet, all different countries. It is amazing the kind of support that they give me.
I mean, it's real, man. It's a bit crazy. I mean, I'm sure you were amazed as well when you found out Kotaku wrote about you. So I want to touch on that aspect. Okay, so you did it. You got it. Everything's popping up. Everyone's popping off in the forum. Dicktree was blown the fuck up officially. So people start noticing it, and you start popping up. People write about you. How did you feel about this? How did you take it?
Well, actually, that was the community as well. They actually reached out to Jason Schreier, the writer to Kotaku.
Okay.
Before I even finished, to say, hey, you need to write about this guy. So he actually contacted me via email. At the prompting of people from the forum, from the community, about a week before I finished. And he asked me some questions. That's where he got the quotes from me in his article, was actually from talking to me before I finished. Thanks to the forum prompting him to do so. So, again, that was the community supporting me.
Okay, that's good. And how do you feel about it? I mean, do you feel somewhat interested, excited about all of this that's been happening? Have you felt any change in your day-to-day? I mean, for sure, it's popped up, but I don't know how you've taken it.
I've actually really enjoyed it. It's nice to know that there are people who care about this kind of idiocy that I participate in. It's kept me streaming. I'm still doing twice-a-day streams while I'm doing my exercises for the arm. I've actually got a Patreon going, so now I've got some financial support. It's not very much, but it's more than most people get, I believe. I mean,
Yeah.
actually making money without running ads on YouTube or anything is pretty amazing. And again, tons of support from the viewers, hundreds of comments that surprisingly glowing from a YouTube video. You know, you imagine YouTube as a cesspool in the comments section, but overwhelmingly positive. So I've had a ton of great feedback. I really appreciate all of it. I'm utterly surprised, but it makes me want to keep going. It makes me want to keep doing more videos, and I think it's really great.
All right, that sounds exciting to look forward to. So you mentioned streaming. I would like to ask you, since you only have 1 month since you started streaming, do you think it would have helped you a lot more if you had to stream all of it along the way? Or did you think it supported you in some way? Was it making it more interesting, more easier to pass time with?
It was actually harder to pass the time while streaming because I was more focused on the game. Like I said, when I was sporadically grinding, I would be doing other things at the same time and accidentally killing my own party. With the streaming, I was more focused on what I was doing. I was more focused on hitting my goal, trying to talk to anybody who would listen about anything interesting for what I was doing. So it would have been harder streaming from the beginning. But I would have finished it faster. I might have gotten more of a following over the course of it, rather than this big explosion at the end.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually, when I got the capture card, thought about, should I just stop and restart from the beginning? I actually seriously considered stopping at like level 92 and starting completely over.
Wow.
Just so I could stream the whole thing.
And you thought best to not do so?
No, it was for the forum community more than anything else.
Okay.
So that's what really made me decide to just keep going with it. And if I didn't get any viewers, I didn't get any viewers.
Okay, but still, like you mentioned, when it was getting to the later moments of it, when it was just like 20, 30 battles away, your stream started to get popping, right? Tons of viewers.
Yeah, that last hour, the last stream, I don't know what they were doing to get the word out, but I had way more viewers than normal. The chat was going faster than I could read it for the first time in my experience. It was really amazing to see so many people watching me just fight random battles for an hour to lead up to the finale.
All right. And it was pretty good, right? I imagine how the chat must have been when you got to level 99.
I couldn't follow it anymore. There were so many, Twitch faces going by that I didn't know what they meant, and people posting Doritos or something like that. I don't know what any of it meant.
All right. Don't worry, you'll catch on.
The only thing I recognized was when everybody was posting "fuck Dick Tree."
Yeah, I actually wanted to make it the title for this stream, but Twitch I think doesn't let you use the F word explicitly in the title. But anyways, all right. So Circle Master, my man, you did it, you got it, and then people start noticing it, and some even ask why. And now I would ask for your justification, but actually you already told it. There's a comment, a very beautiful comment in the Kotaku article where you mentioned something you posted in the forum. I have it right here. I might read it. I don't know if you have it, or would you like to read it, or just talk about it?
If you want to go ahead and read it, that's fine. I don't have it in front of me.
All right, well I'll do it if you'll allow me. Okay.
Go ahead.
So, life does not have inherent meaning. To say that our lives are pointless and our achievements meaningless is to state the obvious. No matter how grand our achievements or how broad their scope, time turns all to dust and destroys all memory. But that does not mean we cannot ascribe our own meaning to what we do. It is because nothing has meaning unto itself that we are free to create meaning, to make metaphor, and in doing so reflect on ourselves and our world. Leveling to 99 in the first reactor is pointless and meaningless. So why do I do it? I do it to express my hatred, and more importantly, my disdain for Dick Tree. I do it to express the camaraderie I feel for those of us who have followed this topic for years, learned to be disappointed by Dick Tree. I do it to prove to myself that I can persevere. The act is meaningless. I give it meaning. Beautiful, my man. Beautiful words. Could you elaborate on it? Could you talk about it?
Well, if you want to get into a whole philosophical debate about the meaning of life,
I mean, I don't want to get technical, but I mean, I think I totally agree. When I read that, it was like, it's you nailed it, man. It's basically what it is, plain and simple.
Yeah, you get comments all the time. People saying if you'd spent this time, learning a language or working on science, imagine what you could have achieved. But I mean, I'm a gamer. I play video games. This is what I do because I enjoy it, because it's meaningful to me. And yeah, there are opportunity costs, but you can't look at life as a series of opportunity costs. Anything that you do is something that you're not doing instead. So all you can do is do what gives you meaning and purpose. You can't live your life by the standards of others. You've got to be able to look back on your own life and say, yeah, it was worth it to do this, and not have any regrets about the choices that you made. And looking back on what I've done, I can absolutely say I do not regret it. I would do it again. And I actually tweeted to Square Enix saying, if you give me a PS4 and the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I will do it again and I'll stream the whole thing.
Real shit, man. Real shit. Alright, so I would love to indulge in more of the philosophical intricacies of your comment, but now that you mention it, I gotta share it with the people. My man here has a tweet on Twitter. That's right. We gotta hit Square Enix. We gotta recreate this in the remake. We gotta see level 99 in the first reactor in HD. So people, please, in the chat, if you're reading, please retweet what I'm just typing, copy pasting about a bunch of times right now. It will be highly appreciated because we want to see Circle Master persevere and give meaning to the FF7 remake. So I would like to ask you now, Circle Master, what's next? You've done it. You got level 99 in the first reactor. Dick Tree has been blown the fuck out. So what are you doing next?
Well, because of what happened with the upswell in popularity that it got from all these articles, I actually had a Patreon patron donate to me to do a 100% completion run of Final Fantasy VI, where I get everybody to level 99, I get everybody all the magic, I get all the rages, all the lores, get every treasure, get full inventory as best as possible, just 100% in every respect possible for Final Fantasy VI, which is my favorite RPG, so I was happy to do that.
Okay.
So I've started that, and I'm also participating in a Let's Play of Mountain Blade Warband with a succession game where we're trading around the same save file and building on what the previous players have done. I've got that save file for a week, so that's what I started today. That's going to go for a week, but then it's right back to Final Fantasy VI 100% completion.
Okay, that's going to be on your stream?
Yeah, it's going to be on my stream, and it's also going to be streamed and archived on YouTube.
Alright. Talk to me about your channels, your content. I know you mentioned the YouTube channel, you mentioned your stream, just recently getting involved in all of the Twitch environment. So when can people expect you to stream? What can people expect in your YouTube channel to see? You mentioned some games, but what else is there?
It's all games. The Twitch is just 100% my recent efforts to stream these video games. YouTube has been Let's Plays going back, I think, 6 years or so. I started with Alpha Protocol. Those videos are kind of rough. It was my first experience with things like video editing software and audio editing. I've got I don't know how many video Let's Plays at this point on my YouTube channel. I've got several more archived at lparchive.org if you want to check for Circle Master there.
Okay.
Very generous work by Baldur to archive a ton of Let's Plays from various forums and YouTube communities. Big shout outs to him for that. Okay.
Alright, so there's that. Your channel, so people can expect you at twitch.tv/CircleMaster, I imagine, without the E and the without both the E's in Circle Master?
E's.
Yeah, no E's.
No E's.
No E's allowed in these URLs. Okay. So besides that, you mentioned FF7 remake. So besides doing the whole thing again, but remake, I would like to have your thoughts on the remake itself. Do you look forward to it? Are you hyped? Do you enjoy it? Do you think the original should be kept untainted, or what's your take on it?
Well, my take, I have to go on remakes in general. Like I said, I haven't finished Final Fantasy VII at all. Square Enix has had kind of a mixed bag when it comes to remaking their games. The more recent efforts on the Game Boy Advance with Final Fantasy VI Advance and 4 Advance or excuse me, 5 Advance, seem to be doing really well, trying to honor the older translations while updating them. If they can continue in that vein, I think that Final Fantasy VII will be really nice. I've heard rumors, I don't know how true this is, but people have told me that the remake is going to be episodic. I don't know how true that is.
That's what word's getting around, that it's going to be like chapters or something.
I think it's awesome that I only have to buy the first one if I'm going to do this again.
Alright, sounds good. Okay, so, now, besides that, tell me about other Final Fantasies you like. I know you mentioned 6, you like that as well. I gotta hit the contradiction there. I enjoy FF5 a lot. I think 5 is pretty good. Both the Game Boy Advance version and the original. So I don't know. Are there any others you like?
Like I said, 4, 5, and 6. Well, more 4 and 6 were my bread and butter growing up. 5, I also really enjoy for the job system.
Yeah.
I'm actually a really big fan of Final Fantasy Tactics. I know it's kind of the black sheep.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty good game, man.
But original Tactics, I really enjoy it. I played the hell out of that. The original Final Fantasy obviously started the whole thing. You got to give some props to that. As rough as it is, as much as it doesn't work, and
it's
things
the OG,
don't
man.
do what they say they do.
The cornerstone.
And the real problem with 1 is I can't grind to level 50 in the starting area because they have the morale system. Enemies will run away from you. So you can't grind there forever.
Huh. Alright. I didn't know that. Funny thing you mentioned Final Fantasy Tactics. I should also point out that one thing you and I share in common is that we both have Final Fantasy Tactics avatars on Twitter. I happen to have Ramsa, just Ramsa as it is. And you have a pretty funny screenshot from what I believe is a mod, I suppose.
It's actually a Photoshop screenshot. I believe it was from the old GameFAQs forum of this like Final Fantasy Tactics abridged. You know,
okay.
the kind of joke version of the story where Ramza's father is dying early in the story and he's passing on his wisdom, but it's been changed to Ramza, be a pimp and represent. Don't let those haters throw salt on your game.
That's right. Father! Okay. So, rip to Balbanis. May he rest in peace. But damn, man. Okay, so now I would like to ask you, going back to all the philosophical things, just to wrap up. Do you actually study philosophy, or did you conceive that as such? I ask because I'm a philosophy major, so I don't know. I just felt compelled to talk about this.
I've studied some philosophy, both in college and just on my own. I'm by no means an expert on anything like that. I do like to discuss really abstract topics like how to find meaning in a chaotic, meaningless universe, how to assign meaning to your own life when your biological imperative is simply to pass on your genes and then die. You like I said, you have to be able to find meaning for yourself. There is no objective meaning to life. Nobody exists for a reason. Nobody exists on purpose. You have to carve out your own purpose. But you're free to do that, and that's what makes it awesome instead of terrifying. You can make your life whatever you want it to be, and you can make it about whatever you want it to be about. And if that's video games, embrace it. Make it your own. I mean, I don't have to tell you that. You're the one who's doing this whole game journalism thing.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Gotta find meaning, and I think games are a pretty good meaning to life, so I don't know, man, let's try it out. So, okay, now I just want to mention, and I don't know if I may be wrong, you tell me, but I think your justification to doing this whole ascribing meaning to the act sounds a lot like Nietzsche to me. Would you agree with this?
It probably does have some Nietzsche to it. I've read some of his works, not all of them, and he does have some really good points to things. I've a big fan of things like film noir and cyberpunk, which also take influence from his philosophies of the self-principled man outside of the system. I don't want to say Ubermensch because it gets misappropriated and misused so often.
And but
it really is what the Ubermensch is about. It's about morals from within yourself, not from an outside society, not from an outside moral authority like a god. It's not nihilistic, it is empowering, and it should be.
That's a knowledge, man. Okay, So it does have a little niche to it, but who would you say is your author or the things you've read that drove you to that kind of philosophy, that kind of thought about life and the meaning of it?
A lot of it has just come from reading the works of early philosophers and disagreeing with them. Like, I read a lot of Kierkegaard and Thomas Aquinas and their ascriptions to things like existentialism and moral authorities. Rene Descartes had his whole cogito ergo sum that is completely misused because he says that at the start and then he goes on to somehow, from nothing, ascribe things to a deity. So a lot of flawed philosophy has made me like question and think and look critically at other people's arguments, and I've sort of taken what I did find reasonable and rational from other philosophers, like I said, a lot of them like Nietzsche, like Hume, and kind of adapt it into a personal code, finding morals from within.
Oh,
Which, again,
all right.
appropriated from Nietzsche, but at the same time, you've got to be able to think critically about your own life, not just in terms of how you're spending your time, but what your beliefs are.
Okay, I see where you're getting at. That sounds pretty cool. Okay, so it's rather more reading and then seeing, or do I agree or do I not agree with what I've just read? Is that right?
Yeah, you can't just read something and accept it wholesale. You've got to be able to think critically about what people are saying and not just say I agree or I disagree, but why. Why do I agree? Why do I disagree? What about this makes sense? And how can I make some statement consistent with my beliefs?
Okay. That sounds pretty good. Sad to know that you don't like Kierkegaard. I would have to say I'm a big fan of theology in general, but as a distant bystander, not as a Christian itself. But I don't want to get into that. Just it's funny that you mentioned that. So, Circle Master, I really thank you for all the time you've taken with us. Now, I just want to ask the chat if they have any questions for you. Now's the time. While we try and get those, I would like to say, Circle Master, once again, respect, props a lot for what you've done. And now, well, the mic is yours. The space is open. Everything you want to mention, last words, shout outs, where people can find you. Go ahead.
Well, like you said, you can find me on twitch.com/circlemaster with no ease. YouTube channel, same name, Circlemaster, no ease. I also occasionally use beam.pro, again, Circlemaster with no ease. Something Awful forums are where I post my Let's Plays. In forum threads, I also do screenshot Let's Plays there from time to time. Another big shout out to Baldirk for his work with lparchive.org to save and preserve the work of so many people. Wouldn't be able to do this kind of stuff without the selflessness that he does. He spends a lot of his own time and money doing that just to support people who only pay him back with entertainment.
All right. Okay, anything else?
I can't name the forum that this is all started from. I really wish I could. But you know who you are if you're watching right now.
All right. Shout out to all the people that cheered Circle Master on, and shout outs to you, Circle Master. You are a legend, man. I really appreciate that you're taking the time to be with us and share your amazing feat with more people, and especially here in the Mexican Latin American community. So all of us here really appreciate what you did, man.
Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll look forward to catching you on stream, to see you getting the hold of Capas and Craig Asims and all of the Twitch emotes and the wonders and whatnot. Yeah, and hey, you should hit up the Twitch staff. Maybe I think this is partner worthy stuff, man. Gotta get that Twitch muda.
I gotta get some more viewers before they'll let me into that club, I think.
All right. Well, I'll be looking forward till you get there because I'm sure you will, my man. Once again, there's a Patreon if anyone wants to support him, and well, I think that's it, my man. Circle Master, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
All right, later, man.
Later.
Damn, son. There you go. Ahí tienen, banda. All English viewers, thanks a lot. I'll wrap it up here in Spanish, but if you like the content, please feel free to follow, subscribe if you want, and just be around. Thanks a lot for hanging out. And ya, pues cámara, banda. Ahí estuvo Circle Master. Este capítulo me encantó, estuvo chonchísimo. Filosofía, Final Fantasy VII. Vaya, lo que me encanta a mí. Así que les agradezco por haber estado conmigo aquí el día de hoy viendo esto y entrevistando a Circle Master. Increíble hazaña que hizo, ya saben, creando gran contenido de lo mundano. La gema de crema, ya se lo saben. Y recuerden que estamos a 11 días de Smash Factor Toluca. Si quieren registrarse, por ahí están los links. Smash.gg Factor Toluca, con muchos vatos en Wii U y media. Así que por favor, si se pueden dar una boleta, se aprecia bastante. Si les gusta el contenido, ya saben, denle follow al canal. Y tenemos ahí un botón nuevo que todavía no entiendo que funciona. Y creo que tal vez mañana podamos aclarar un poco de eso. Pero bueno, banda, yo les agradezco mucho por haber visto. Esto no acaba, el canal continúa con contenido. Ahorita a las 9, mi homie Shax va a estar streamando un poco de Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past, si lo quieren tomar por ahí del canal. Y bueno, muchas gracias por ver, se los agradezco. Nos vemos en el próximo capítulo. Y recuerden, la gema es la crema, man. See ya.